What's crack-a-lack? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know so. Today, we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons, but we see the return of Matty Ice to the playoffs. But before we get into that, like, subscribe if you enjoy the content. And if you do enjoy the content, check out my social media handles in the description, and you can catch me every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday night streaming on Twitch, Broshmo Gaming, if you want to just see me acting a fool. It's always appreciated. That's 8 o'clock. I believe it's Mountain Standard Time right now. If not, I'll edit it appropriately. But the Atlanta Falcons, man, last year was rough for the Atlanta Falcons. They were banged up on defense. I get it. They were hurt. And there were some good things that was going on in Atlanta. I mean, Calvin Ridley looked good every so often. But let's go ahead. Let's break down what the offense is going to look like this year. Ideally, I think they just re-signed James Matthew. This offensive line, it's going through some changes. This guys got older. They had to get rid of him. Play was declining, so Matthews is here, left tackle. James Carpenter played all right at guard. Alex Mack, proven he's one of the better centers in the league. And ideally, they're going to want these guys that they drafted in the first round to start right away. And Lindstrom from Boston College and McGarry from Washington, which I think they can be, especially Lindstrom. I think he's a plug-and-play player. McGarry might take a little bit more time, but I think these are two excellent additions on top of a team that has a lot of weapons for Matt Ryan. You look at Austin Hooper, who, you know, he can be a ghost in some games, but that's just because they have such a plethora of other weapons. He might not always see the ball there. They got Luke Stocker, who's a fine blocking tight end there too. Julio Jones, one of the best receivers in the league. I ain't gonna say the best because I feel like that's up for grabs, but one of the top 3 best wide receivers in the league. Calvin Ridley, he shined a lot last year. He shined. He disappeared in some games last year. Mohamed Sanu, who's been very reliable for this squad, could have been the reason of that. You know, he played a lot more in the slot, so he gets a few of those easy targets. Running back's a big question mark. Can we see a healthy year from Devontae Freeman? I don't know, and I don't think Ito Smith is that guy to take a full workload last year when they had Tevin Coleman. They were never fully committed to Ito Smith. Even when Coleman was playing bad, they wouldn't take away carries from Coleman and give him to Smith, even when the latter was playing bad. So I don't see that happening outside of injury. But even then, they'll probably he'll end up splitting carries with. They got Kayjon Barner back there, but I mean they don't really have much back there. Maybe Brian Hill. Maybe he's been a bit of a journeyman. Oh, they did draft the guy from Pittsburgh. So that might be something to watch. But overall, the offense looks really good. Really good. They should be playing very well. But will the defense help them out here? If they come back healthy, I think they can. Now, big question marks at pass rusher on that defensive line. Vic Beasley has not played well since he's been to the Pro Bowl. And that was like 2 years ago. So will we see the Vic Beasley from that year? Or will we see what we've seen the last 2 years? Very underwhelming, you know. I heard with McKinley that they might play him a little bit at linebacker, which I think that's a little weird. I think they're kind of already set at linebacker. It's someone on the line that they need, you know. But they do have Adrian Claiborne back to add in that rotation. They drafted John Kaminsky. So nothing impressive, you know. Honestly, that's probably going to be the biggest question here for this year is how will they generate pass rush? I mean, they got Grady Jarrett, who honestly one of the better interior linemen in the league. He deserves money. But next to him, it's kind of a question mark. They kind of got a rotation of Jake Crawford. They also got the cat they got out of Alabama, Senate. So between those two guys, they're probably going to be rotating a little bit. But I mean, until they give him a big contract, this defensive line looks like a big weakness to me. Deion Jones is back. Pair him up with Campbell. One of the better young linebacker duos in the league. Now, I think the secondary will play much better this year around. They got Keanu Neal back. Desmond Trufant is not kind of battered by injury, and Isaiah Oliver, if he can make that leap this year from last year, because I think he got a lot of playing time last year and just wasn't ready. Ricardo Allen, he's fine. I put DeMonte Casey here because he played a little bit of everywhere. He did everything. He was like everything they asked from him. Oh, you want me to play up there in coverage? Cool, I'll play in the box. Maybe play closer to the line, up on a tight end, up on a receiver. Like, he did everything. He didn't necessarily do it all well, but last year was his first season, so benefit of the doubt. So I think this year the maturity from those spots will get better. The maturity in the secondary will be much better. And honestly, my only question is that defensive line. Where is that pass rush coming from? Because those guys in the secondary, they can cover for as long as you want. But if it's going to take you 10, 12 seconds to get to the quarterback, it doesn't really matter. So that's probably my worry, because they didn't dress it in the draft. They dressed the offensive line good and dandy, and then they got themselves a running back and a couple of guys in the secondary. Kendall Sheffield, nice pickup at Ohio State, but pass rush is such a pressing need. And not to address it early just blows my mind. With that being said, I've let my heart out. Let's take a look at the schedule. Tough schedule. Having to face the Colts, the Texans, the Titans. That's tough. That's nearly as bad as having to face the Saints, the Panthers, and the Buccaneers twice a year. Oh wait, you do? Yeah, it's a tough schedule. You got the Seahawks, the Rams. Honestly, this is gonna be a good litmus test of where is this team gonna go. It's gonna honestly, I think this year they could honestly blow up that. I'm gonna say honestly one more time. I honestly think they can end up blowing up that defensive line. Like Vic Beasley, I think this is his 5th-year option, so they could ditch him. Grady Jarrett, he plays so well, but honestly, they're gonna have to spend money elsewhere, so they don't want to re-sign him to a long-term deal. If you're not going to, just trade him, And then McKinley, honestly, if they're putting him at linebacker, I don't know, but he's been in trouble with the law anyway too. So there's a few red flags there. He might not be on the team much longer. So I got him going 8-8. That's as down the middle as I can get. Tough division, and a lot of questions on defense. Will the secondary elevate from last year now that they're some of these rookies have a year under their belt? Will the defensive line get to the quarterback? Because guess what? If you don't have good pass rush, then your coverage will struggle. If you don't have good coverage, then your pass rush doesn't mean nothing. And if you're bad at both, then you're lucky to be an 8-8 team because your offense is that good. Just saying. That's it for the video. Do all the YouTube stuff. Check me out on Twitch. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.